Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year for 2020. We've been doing KavetiLaw series from last year. We're getting a lot of viewers, and they're requesting us to do more videos. So we decided to launch a legal aid YouTube channel, and this will be launched on 31st of this month in 2019. We will cover various topics on legal issues, legislations, and case laws, and how it is going to affect the society. This will be in educational videos, and we will be talking on legal issues in comparison with social issues. In this video, as an introductory offer, we are going to discuss on Indian Citizenship Amendment Bill and Act. This bill has been introduced in the Indian Parliament, and December 9th, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, which are called Upper House and Lower House, has already passed the bill, and fortunately the President also signed, and this has become a law. What does it mean? This law is in force from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and good luck to the government. They have also passed a law. There is no more special status to Kashmir. It's part of India now. What does it mean? This law is applicable to every citizen of India. What is the citizen of India? The citizen of India is defined in the Constitution of India. To become a citizen of India, there are certain procedures stipulated in the Citizenship Act. How does one become a citizen? By birth, or by descent, or by naturalization, or when the country attains or gets a territory of another country, then people living over there become citizens. The issue here is why there is a big hue and cry in the country. To my opinion, a lot of political parties and social organizations, they are misinterpreting the law. They're not understanding the law in its rights context. They're misinterpreting the law, and they're saying that this law is discriminating the Muslims, which I strongly disagree, because the law is applicable to the citizens of this country, not to the non-citizens. In this context, I would like to explain that who are immigrants, who are illegal immigrants, what is the role and what is the rights and liabilities of illegal immigrants. Under the refugee law, there is a convention by the United Nations in 1957 that refugees and asylees have certain rights in the world. India is not a signatory party to the Convention of Refugee Convention of 1957. However, India is a signatory party to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. What does it mean? That means we all humans have certain human rights. They have to be protected. And we have a remedy under the Human Rights Declaration to go to the International Court of Justice if there are any violations of human rights like genocide or anything. But however, in this situation, it's not violating the Article 14 or 15 or 16 of Indian Constitution, because the Indian Constitution says that equality before the law and equal protection of laws for all the citizens. It doesn't say the persons, because here people who are coming from, Muslims coming from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan, first of all, they're illegal immigrants. They're coming to India unlawfully, and they're intruding into the country. They're staying unlawfully. However, because of the certain policies, they're giving certain rights to register themselves in India in the National Register of Citizens, and the government of India is giving them some identification cards. They're having a right to live, right to freedom, right to expression, and they're also having a right to work. But they don't have right to live permanently. So this legislation wants to legalize a certain class of people. What sort of class of people? The government said the Hindus are going through a religious persecution in Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh. Why? Because those countries, those sovereign countries, are Muslim countries. The government has adopted Islamism as an official religion, but India did not. India is a secular country, so it did not adopt any religion as an official religion. That is the reason Christians are coming. Parsis have come. Who are Parsis? These are Persians from Iran, and they are coming to India. Christians are coming, Buddhists are coming, Sikhs are coming, Hindus are coming, and these are Hindus, Sikhs and Buddhists and Christians. These are minorities in these Muslim countries. So because they're not able to exercise their religion and they're having the Islamic states are persecuting them because of their belief, that's the reason they're coming to India for their protection. So that's the reason the Citizenship Act, they amended and said, we will give them citizenship. That doesn't mean that they're discriminating the Muslims from these neighboring countries. And the Citizenship Act also says that they're not recognizing the Hindus coming from Sri Lanka and then Hindus coming from other parts of the world. They're giving a fair opportunity and fair trial, and they're giving all the benefits for people who are coming and applying through legitimate ways. The opposition parties, they're misreading the law, misinterpreting the law, and they're raising a hue and cry. They are enticing animosity between two groups of people, which are Hindus and Muslims and Christians, and this is unlawful. Under the IPC, they could be charged because you are creating a breach of peace in the society, and you are injecting certain you're injecting certain animosity between the people, between the citizens, and the citizens are destroying the government properties, and they could be charged because IPC says that if you're destroying the property of the government, it's a serious offense. The other thing, they could be charges under the IPC. They could be charged for 120B, criminal conspiracy, and they could be charged under the technology laws because they're publicizing on YouTubes and newspapers and television channels. All these opposition parties and certain social groups are, they are misinterpreting the law, and they are causing some damage to the society. And I strongly disagree what the Muslims are raising an issue saying that the government of India, it's a Hindutva party discriminating Muslims. I assure the whole of country that Muslims don't have to worry, and it's not going to affect them, their rights, and this is only affecting people who are coming from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan, who are unlawful Muslims in the country, and if they cannot prove their bona fides, they will be sent out. And the issue is of, again, whether these guys, the countries of Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan, will they accept these citizens? If they don't accept the citizens, they cannot be deported. They have certain rules in international law that if the country where they come from are not accepting them, they cannot be sent back. And if they cannot be sent back, they become stateless people. And there are certain laws which governs for stateless people as well. So I assure that all the Muslim brothers not to worry and not to misunderstand the law. And it is a democratic setup. India is a democratic country, and it's a secular country. And we also signed, we are a signatory for Human Declaration of Human Rights. We have certain rights, and there's a due process of law, and there are certain tribunals are there. As per the Foreigners Act, there are certain tribunals. People have to be tried, and only upon the tribunals deciding that they shall be sent back to their countries, they'll be sent back. If these people have children in India, the children are born in India, they're Indian citizens. If they're married to Indians, they will also get citizenship through marriage, because that is one of the criteria to get a Citizenship Act. Before we go in detail into the amendment and the legislation, the Parliament of India has already passed the law, so this is applicable to the whole of country. It is passed on December 9, 2019, and the President of India has already signed. This has become a law. This is applicable to the whole of India. So the legislation is now in effect, and some people wanted to stay this legislation. They filed some petitions, writ petitions in Supreme Court of India. Supreme Court of India said, no, we are not going to interfere in this legislation. So they accepted the writ petitions, and they're going to hear whether it is constitutional or unconstitutional in January 2020 on 22nd. There are a few things I want to educate and share my wisdom with the viewers. One is what is an immigrant means. An immigrant is somebody coming from another country to live in to another country. What are illegal immigrant means? Illegal immigrant means somebody who comes without a visa, or somebody who comes with a visa but overstay. That is a standard definition of immigrant or non-immigrant or illegal immigrant anywhere in the world, whether it is in US or India or any parts of the world. What has been happening is, if you see the history of India, there were a lot of refugees and political asylees or religious persecution asylees have been visiting India, and they were being coming lawfully and unlawfully and staying there and claiming citizenship. If you see the history of India, even the Persians who were coming from Persia, which is today's Iran, and the Christians coming from other countries, and Hindus from Bangladesh and Pakistan and Sri Lanka and other neighboring countries, people coming and staying in the country, and they're applying for a citizenship. The Citizenship Act says that they came up with a cutout date that anyone who's in the country from 2015 December before, they could apply for a citizenship. And there are a lot of unlawful or illegal immigrants in Assam, and the Supreme Court came up and said, you need to maintain a national registry of citizens, but that has not been effective because it is a state subject. The government, state of Assam, has to maintain a registry, but they have not been doing it. So now there's a crisis in Assam, and the Indians, Muslims who are in India, the opposition parties are saying that this law is unlawful because it is violating the Article 14 of Constitution. Article 14 of Constitution of India says equality of law and equal protection of laws, which is human right, came from Human Rights Declaration. That law is not violated because anybody who is coming from another country illegally and coming and staying in India, and they are saying that you have to give us citizenship, they are not citizens of India. The Constitution protects the citizens of India, not who are non-citizens of India. And the opposition parties are misinterpreting the law, and they're creating a havoc in India, and they're saying this is anti-Muslim law, which I disagree. It's not anti-Muslim law because they are not targeting only Muslims. If you take the incidents of Tamils from Sri Lanka, they came to India from 1900s because there was an LTT problem, and the BJP is not giving any citizenships to them, and the Hindus coming there are a lot of Muslims there. They're saying the reason they are not giving citizenships to Muslims coming from Pakistan, Bangladesh and other neighboring countries, the reason is because the neighboring countries are Muslim countries. The government, the Islamic State government, and the Shias and Ahmadis and other Baluchis, they're all Sunni Muslims, and they come under the definition of Muslim. So if you're a Muslim and if you're living in a Muslim country, the BJP government states that they don't have any religious persecution problem. What is the religious persecution? Because if you're exercising your faith if a Hindu is exercising their faith in Bangladesh or Pakistan, they're getting persecuted. What is the meaning of persecution? It is a discrimination or a violence as against a Hindu. That is the reason the government has come up and saying the Hindus are minorities in these countries, and when they come to India, they live in India, the Indian government is giving them a protection, and the legislation says we will give you a citizenship. So there is no, this law is not unconstitutional as per Article 14, 15 and 16, and the NRCH, I mean National Registry of Citizens, the Assamese have another problem. They're mixing up their local problems with this legislation, and in the whole country they're raising alarm. And the law says if there is a law existing, and if you're misinterpreting it, and if you're giving speeches disturbing the tranquility and peace, they could be charged actually under the Criminal Procedure Code, under the IPC, under I-120B and 150B. There are other legislations under the Indian Penal Code. They could be charged and they could be imprisoned. I urge my Muslim brothers not to worry too much of this legislation, because it's not targeting the only just Muslims. It is, they're not discriminating the Muslim community at large. This is for our security of the country, because we want to know who are illegal immigrants, who are citizens, non-citizens, and who are in the country. It is for our benefit. This legislation has come into force. We have to give a positive note and not get carried away by the oppositions and certain social group by misinterpreting the law and having a havoc and create a chaos in the society, because this could have a serious ramifications on the country at large in terms of peace and tranquility. The whole world might look bad upon us because it's a secular country, and all the religions are enjoying the freedom of expression of their religion and freedom of movement, and we are enjoying certain fundamental rights in the country. So this is my opinion that this law is not going to target one community, and if that happens, you have legal recourse, you have courts, you can file complaints, lawsuits, file writ petitions in the courts, and there's a due process of law. And Indian system is a democratic system, socialistic system. We have right of expression, we have certain rights to all the individuals, and fundamental rights have been protected by the Constitution. So in my opinion, I think to other opposition parties and leaders, don't misinterpret things and don't create a havoc in the society. If we are willing to help as lawyers. If you can contact us, you can call us, and in the bottom you can see our phone numbers, addresses. You can contact us, and if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, share this information to other friends and family, and we're going to come up with more videos like this, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you, and Happy New Year once again.